Hey, this is Chuck Worley, the host and founder of the 757 House Whisperer Show. We are coming at you live from downtown Dominion Towers in Norfolk. We are coming to you live listening to how to help people in their houses and fix their houses. The 757 House Whisperer Show has a group of co-hosts that specialize in everything from roofing, siding, pest control, whatever. So we're going to give you our list of contractors that we refer, but really the show is created for the 757 homeowners so that you guys can call in and ask questions about your house. My goal is to not just help one person at a time anymore. My goal is to help one person calling in and asking a question, and I can literally help thousands of other homeowners in the 757. So call in with any question. We got Justin with Pyramid Roofing. We got Mike Davenport with CVP, Custom Vinyl Products, and windows and doors is what he does. You want to introduce Tommy Hines?
Tommy Hines is our guy. He's our money guy. So if you're looking to do some remodeling, you want to do some refinancing, he's the Perfect Home Remedy is the name of his company. He's a great guy, best guy, one of the top 5% people in the country that can help you with getting that loan that you need to take care of those upgrades or remodels and that sort of thing that you want to do to your home. He can find you a better way and maybe even reduce your monthly payments.
I told people the other day, I actually referred him to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and this guy used to be in the finance world. He's doing something else now, but he's like, man, that guy's pretty smart. And for somebody it was in the business to compliment another person in that business. That
speaks
big
volumes.
deal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Volumes. Yeah.
So who are you?
Who am I? Yeah. Well, I'm the
one. You don't sound like Mike, Jack, Tommy, or Justin.
I'm the only female amongst you guys, but that's okay. I'm used to that sort of thing. But I'm Cindy Rao, the owner of Alpha Pest Solutions, owner-operator. We do pest control services, but we also do exterminating services for termites, fungus, powder post beetles, anything like that. We do inspections for real estate transactions, so when you're buying and selling your home. We can put in a dehumidifier, a sump pump. If it creeps or crawls, I can get it, and I'm not afraid to get it either.
And then our young buck of the group. So we're very diverse here. We got the young buck that's in his early 20s.
Yep.
Mr. Jack Keller who owns Legacy Painting. So pretty much any specialization, question, problem with a house, we got a co-host that can handle it. So you guys call in and we're going to get you some answers about your house. A couple other things that I want to talk about is we do have a cool trivia question. I guess I was into history this week because my dad actually grew up in right near Gettysburg, Hanover, Pennsylvania. So he was a Navy senior chief in the Navy, and I know I talk about my dad a lot, but so anyway, we was talking about Gettysburg, and I was dealing with some family stuff up there. My cousin passed away, and was dealing with the executor of state, so we had to go to Gettysburg, county of Gettysburg. So anyway,
darn the bad luck,
yeah,
right?
But you know what? Everything turned out well, and I'm very happy that is over. So because a friend of mine told me, he said, well, you can tell if someone loves you or don't love you when they leave you as a executor of their estate.
There you go.
They might love you, but really they're killing you on
did you know that
problems that you have to deal with on an executive.
Did you know you're the executor of my estate?
Oh, no. No. That proves you don't love me, because that is a lot of work for no money.
Is.
I mean, I could have took money, I think, but so my cousin died, and she had a 19-year-old who was in or 20-year-old who was in college, and she asked me to kind of make sure all the money got to the right place. So it's
you're a money guy, so
so I didn't want to just release a lot of money to a 20-year-old. So I said, look, I better not see you in Vegas. So anyway, she's very responsible. She's actually going into her junior year.
Excellent.
And I'm very proud of her, man. That's a hell of a hit at 20 years old.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So she has handled it really well. But anyway, so I started talking about Gettysburg. So what year did Battle of Gettysburg begin? How long was that epic battle? And who was the general that retreated, lost? Those are the three questions. You can only answer one at a time. And and then we'll let you know at the end of the show who got the right answer. My second question, kind of / fourth question, right, is what year did the first, all right, you're too young to even know what this is, all right? The first year did the first Sony Walkman go on sale? You're too young for that, right? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I can guess.
Yeah, no. Don't
They
guess,
don't
guess,
remember
but
that stuff
do
at
you remember the
all.
Sony Walkman?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They were not alive.
I used to have the cassette player, the mobile cassette player.
Definitely alive.
Yeah. Well, what was before the mobile cassette player? That was it when it came to mobile music, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, we're old.
Yep,
Me and Cindy definitely enjoyed the Sony Walkman jamming to it. I'm pretty sure I had a Sony Walkman nut because that was for cassettes, right? That was for cassettes. So
You're probably
I'm
10.
pretty sure I had some Beastie Boys rolling
Probably, yeah.
on my Sony Walkman before my state championship in wrestling. I'm pretty
sounds
sure
believable.
that I had Beastie Boys rocking in my head
Yep.
before matches to get us pumped up. I'm pretty sure it was a Sony because discs weren't out yet,
No,
right?
not
So it
yet.
had to be a Walkman. Yeah, that was your time. Yeah.
Yep.
So we got some youngins in the group here in the background. So, but those are our questions. Those are our trivia questions. We've got a couple questions that people have actually texted in to us at 955-9415. Definitely want to call in at 627-7979. So remember, trivia questions. The Battle of Gettysburg, when did it begin? The epic battle, how long was it? And then the general that retreated. So you can only answer one of the three, especially if you cheat in GTS, right? Google that stuff. So, and then what year was the first Sony Walkman did it go on sale? This one actually surprised me. I didn't think it was that old. But 627-7979. Call in for Ask Any Trivia or call in and ask about any questions about your house. I forgot to introduce what I feel like is a pretty important guy on the show.
Alvin.
No.
Who?
Me.
Oh!
And Alvin. Oh, we did Alvin too.
Oh, yeah. We didn't do Alvin.
So
I knew
Alvin,
that much.
Alvin with Alvin Co. I love Alvin because he is actually, I trust him with my house. So everything that I don't do, heating and air, electrical, plumbing, with my new remodel of the existing house, he is doing everything that I don't want to do. So
Chuck, would you like for me to introduce you?
sure, let's see how good a job
Let's
you
see
can
how
do
good of a job I
introducing.
can do. So, the main sponsor of the show this evening is Chuck Worley, Worley's Home Services. I've had the privilege of knowing Chuck for a number of years, as well as his son, that also Chase, who also helps him with the business. Great guys, great company. So Chuck is expert at heating and air, and but he also provides the services of plumbing, electrical, and he does insulation, spray-in foam insulation in the crawl space as well as your attic. If you have any issues with those things, Chuck's your man. And we work closely together. Chuck and I have for many years as far as crawl space things are concerned. So challenging all of you to give us a call tonight and try to stump one of us with the question. If you do, I'm willing to provide a special gift for you. But you have to call in to find out what that special gift may be.
I like it. I like it.
So-
yeah. How's everybody? You were talking about that weather report. It really made me sad. It really made me sad.
You're
it was
welcome.
only 70s.
Yeah.
It makes me sad because that means not everybody's going to be calling in. Last week, I mean, it was all men on the ship were rolling. I mean, it's
Right.
the poor girls were answering. We end up having people working the weekends, and I mean, it was hot.
The summer's not over yet. 105-degree heat index on Friday and Saturday, so everybody's going to be home. So, yeah, there you go. 2 hot days. If the AC hasn't died yet, you still got this weekend.
Yeah, it's these.
Now, Chuck,
these
I've got to ask you,
100-degree
though,
days.
not to cut you off, but what do you do when somebody calls and they're, oh, no, I've got family in town, it's 4th of July, the AC, because that's when it's going to happen. It's the hottest days, of course, because you're running it like, pedal to the metal. How does that work? How long does it take to get relief, and does it help if you're under contract with Worley's Home Services and you already get your system
Obviously,
maintained?
We want to get out to our existing customers first, and then anybody else we try and get out to. But yeah, those are great questions. One of my jokes for the last 20 years was a guy is telling me it's like January, February, and I'm in his house, and it's system's running, but it's like not like the compressor's like overloads and goes out on overload. So it runs for like an hour and then cuts off. And he's like, but it works, man. It works. And I'm like, okay, well, it's February, right? So I think it was April. So it was kind of like not hot. So it was running long enough to kind of keep him halfway comfortable. He goes, well, when do I really have to replace it? I said, well, I mean, like, when's it going to break down? So my joke, being July 4th weekend, is my typical thing to say is, when's the next time your mother-in-law's coming into town?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at, I said, so like, she coming into town 4th of July, like the hottest month, she coming into town 4th of July. Yeah, we normally have a good family. I said, I can pretty much guarantee Murphy will be here right around the time, typically an hour before your mother-in-law gets into town. And he's like rolling his eyes, and he's like, really, man, that's but I'm like, I'm telling you, I mean, Murphy's Law, right?
That's right.
I mean, it's
I plan a big party with a bunch of friends coming over.
Absolutely. You got family coming into town.
Without.
You got a mother-in-law coming into town. It's guaranteed that is when it's going to break. So whenever anybody asks me, when's my system? How many more years do I got? How many more months do I got? I'm like, when's the mother-in-law coming into town? Like, that's my go-to. Like, I've been saying it for 20 years.
Yeah, that's when ants and roaches show up, too, right before the party.
Oh, yeah, right. Exactly. It's, yeah. So anyway, that is when it's going to break, is when so if mother-in-law's not coming this weekend, I mean, there's like a 50-50 shot you're good. If she's coming into town, you got a 10% shot that ain't breaking.
Yep, you're right.
I'm not wrong. Like,
that's how it works.
It's Murphy's Law, man.
That's
Murphy's
how it
Law.
works.
So, but anyway, I want to make sure we got everybody. So Alvin, Jack, yep, we got everybody introduced. And excuse me, I just want to remind you guys, Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. Houses Talk to Me. I've come up with that because I have been fixing houses for 20 plus years. I've been on and off the radio for 20 years, helping people fix houses. And I love being able to help people, and especially, Cindy's been doing it. I've been doing it. Mike's been doing it. Well, Mike's been doing it longer than any of us, right? But
I don't know. I think I'm as old as he is.
that is not
Close.
accurate. No, he's like 106 now.
Okay, so I'm 102.
I think the other day, what was that trivia question? Benedict Arnold. I said, I think Mike is as old as Benedict Arnold. So
That was really mean,
that was it was. But he wears big boy pants. He's
Yeah,
fine.
he does.
So, but yeah, so definitely call in 627-7979. 627-7979. Call in, answer one of our trivia questions, or call in and ask any questions about houses.
Yeah.
Because houses talk to me.
Get a special
All right?
gift.
Looks like we got let's see, Jeff. You want to go to Jeff first? Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, hi there.
Hey, this is Chuck Worley. How can we help you?
Yeah, hi, Chuck. So I appreciate your show, and hopefully you can help me. My home was built in 2014, and I chose an alternative to hardy plank to surface the exterior of my home.
Okay.
I did a little bit of research, checked with some builders, but my lender kept trying to talk me out of it as I was doing the research, and I should have listened to her because I went with a CertainTeed product. And if you fast forward, 10 years later, slowly the side of my house that faces the sun, it started with one little crack, and now the stuff is just deteriorating. And come to find out, there was a class action suit against this product, and I missed the window of opportunity to take advantage of that. So I'm thinking about the other three sides of my house look pretty good that don't have the heat involved. I didn't know if this was like a common problem, like back when we had the Chinese drywall, or
yeah,
this is a well-known thing.
Yeah, the things that I was thinking about was exactly that Chinese drywall. We had that happen a couple years ago. I feel like it was 10 years ago for that, but and then before that was Quest back in the 90s. They had the 3 phases of Quest piping that the lawsuits were there. I mean, we literally just replaced a house in York County, beautiful house, $1 million house, right on the water, great house. I was shocked that Quest was in it, but everybody was putting that stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like that. Do you know what the name of this product is?
It was CertainTeed.
CertainTeed is the brand. I just didn't know if it was had a name like Quest or whatever, like a special name. But yeah, I do remember something about a Hardy Plank like copy or example, or something like it, just a cheaper thing. But typically, and we will see this on normal siding too, where it just gets. It just turns, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you a story about a situation where we had a window. This is crazy. A guy has his windows replaced. Now, the space between the houses was about 10 foot wide. 10, 15 foot wide. The window was like right at the back of the house, but in between the house, right? So a guy has all his siding replaced, brand new, because it was melted. So this guy next door, he had just replaced his windows like 5 or 10 years ago. You're over there shaking your head. You know the story, right? Yeah. So anyway, the sun, because you can't beat God. I mean, that sun is hot, right? So the sun is literally beating up against this glass, and the glass is reflecting it up against his next door neighbor's house, melting the siding because it was so close to the siding, which I thought it was crazy until I saw it. And I'm like, and why'd you replace your siding? Well, because it melted. So he put brand new siding, just thinking he had just bought the house a couple years ago. He's like, he bought the house knowing the siding was kind of, not melted, but it was like, it looked awkward, but he's like, all right, it's just old siding. So then he replaces it. And I mean, Jeff, this was not like a years later. This was literally the first summer, 2 months in, his siding is melting off of the house. Like it was, it was like lava.
Witch. It was like lava.
It was like lava.
Paint just dripping all over the ground.
Awful. So of course the guy comes over and he's yelling at the siding guy, like, "What the hell? What did you do to my siding?" The guy's looking at him. He's like, I need to come over tomorrow in the middle of the day. He goes, what? He goes, I need to see where the sun is. I think the sun is doing this. And of course, the guy's like, up yours, you're crazy. What'd you do wrong? So anyway, he comes over and he's putting a, what do you call the gun? The infrared
temperature gun.
Temperature gauge, right? Yeah. And he's showing him down the siding. It's like 80, 90, 112. Like it was, I don't remember what the exact number was, but it was hot enough to melt siding apparently. So, but anyway, he ended up having to put a glaze. He did have insurance cover it, thank God. The insurance did cover it, but his next door neighbor had to agree to put. It was either an awning or a
window
a
tint.
glaze, like a tint on it to stop it from doing it again. It was the craziest thing ever, man. I didn't even believe the story until I showed up there. So, but anyway, so probably the best thing you need to do is get our siding guy out there, and I will give you a call and touch base with you because it's going to be hard to match it. It's 10 years old, so it may be that you either deal with it or maybe because. And there might be, maybe talk to Jack, and maybe a way to paint it. Because
you can paint it.
I think you can paint Hardy Plank too. So that may be an option. At least maybe get it the same tint or color. Anyway, we can. We'll call you and give you some options on that.
And Jeff, if you would like to have a free crawl space inspection, just let me know. I'd be happy to do that for you.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate everybody's help and look forward to hearing from you.
Hey, thanks for the compliment on the show, man. We love to hear that. It's we feel like we're helping people, but it is nice when we hear it. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yep.
Thanks for
All
calling.
right, let's remind everybody to call in 627-7979. You want to call in 757housewhisperer.com. Please call in before the end of the show. 757-627-7979.
And Chuck, how do people get in touch with you directly or online so they can get free consultations?
Yeah, 757housewhisperer.com and 955-9415 is the phone. And you can text questions. We already got a couple texts. Text questions about the house so we can help you tonight. Got Mark Dunn bringing us in hot with that awesome music. Mark is on Facebook Live watching us, so I know he enjoys that music. So, and he did it. So let's bring in Jay from Virginia Beach. Jay from Virginia Beach, how you doing, buddy?
Yes, excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So what do you got? You said you got a question or an answer about the Walkman.
Yeah, actually, I knew 2 out of the 4, definitely. I didn't know 4 out of 4, but I definitely know the Walkman because I know it was debuted the month I was born.
You were that young wearing a Walkman?
No, I wasn't where I was born that month. I know. So when I turned 40, I got this thing that said things that happened in July 1979, and one of the things that said that Sony Walkman debuted.
That's funny.
That is, yeah.
That's the only reason I know it. I didn't own one until I was like 7 or 8. But
all right. So what about do you want to take a shot at the other ones?
well, I know Robert E. Lee is the general.
That is correct.
Yeah, good job.
Everybody should know that.
You're right.
I got guesses at the other one, but I can't be 100% sure.
All right, take your guesses because right now you're the only one that called in with any answers. So you're gonna win.
All right. Well, I know I'm not gonna lie. This is coming straight from the one episode of The Office that took place at Gettysburg. I think the whole war lasted like 2 or 3 days, and I know it happened in the early 1860s. But if I had to, I don't know when. Like if I had to guess, I'd say 62, 63, somewhere around there.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if anybody else calls in. So where do you live at in Virginia Beach? What part of Virginia Beach?
Right over. My backyard is Green Run High School's baseball field, baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm proud alumni. So.
Hey, that's even better. So your kids go there too?
I
don't have any
kids,
yet.
If I did, they would definitely go there and they would excel.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because winners raise winners, right? So how long you been in that house?
Since 2010. So was that 14 years?
Okay. Had any fun with your house? Any issues with your house?
Not any issues. I've had some fun with it. I'm not gonna lie. We line up in perfect southern exposure, so I had solar panels installed, and I haven't had an electricity bill in about 3 years.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. So that lucked out then. If you're complete exposure, that's fantastic. So
yeah, it's hard to do around here, but
that is good stuff. So any moisture issues under the house? Cindy offers free inspections to come out and take a look.
No, nothing with that. We're pretty solid. The house was actually built in 2005, so it's not that old. Which I know it's getting there. It's starting to get there. It's just about to be 20 years old. But
it's
not bad.
A question not a question of if, it's when, right?
It's when, yeah.
I've looked at a lot of houses that are way newer than that with major issues. So just a suggestion, get some expert to get under that house and make sure that everything's okay for you.
Yeah,
that should be done yearly because it only takes just moisture to get into that crawl space, and it doesn't take long for the damages to mount up. So,
well, I don't have a crawl space.
Okay,
so,
you're on a slab.
What do we look for? Because I got a slab, and I've got all my pipes that come off the side of the house that take the rainwater away. Push it far from the foundation.
So your downspouts. You have extensions on those?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
great
awesome.
job. Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Hey, thanks for calling in, Jay. What do you do when you have a house on a slab for inspections? How can you? Because you can't go into crawl space. How do you inspect that?
So the main thing, the first place I'm going to look at is if you have an attached garage, because it's always going to be what's attached to the main structure. So if you have an attached garage, I'm going to look for termites there or any other kind of wood destroying. So you could have powder post beetles, anything like that. Carpenter ants, carpenter bees. You're going to find those on your additions. So that we consider a garage as being an additional part to the house. So if you've had a room addition put on, a sunroom, a Florida room, or anything like that, an extra bedroom or bathroom, anything like that, we would look there for any evidence of termites. And if you did an addition, did you have that ground treated prior to building? Because that's the way it should be properly done. If the soil's not treated, you're exposing that new addition to termites. So those are the kinds of things we will look at on a slab. And I lived in a slab, and I'm going to tell you this about a slab. I had termites everywhere. So you have to be real careful. It just takes a little crack, and those are very, very common with the slab for the termites to get inside because they live in the ground. So, but our inspections are free, and we're happy to come out. We take a look for you, make sure you're good to go. But please, please, please have somebody check that for you, because it just takes a little bit of time for termites to do a lot of damage.
Well, introduce yourself again.
Oh,
so
well.
let's. We got coming on new half hour. A lot of people are joining the show. I like to kind of introduce everybody again. So.
Yeah.
Tell everybody who you are.
My name is Cindy Rowell. I'm the owner-operator of Alpha Pest Solutions. I've been at it in this business for over 20 years. Owner-operator, so if it happens to your house, I'm like Chuck. The house talks to me. Literally, it talks to me, tells me what's happening
Trying to
for
steal
you.
my thunder?
No, buddy. I'm just trying to help you. But if it happens to your house, as far as crawl space, and even on a slab, if it's wood destroying, if it's a wood destroying organism or insect, I can identify that. I can treat it. I can take care of it. Inspections for when you're buying and selling your home, anything like that, we take care of. And all of my inspections are always free.
Awesome. So call in at 627-7979. We got some time for a couple more phone calls. We do have some questions that got texted into us, so we're actually Cindy and her daughter-in-law, actually both inspectors for Alpha Pest, saw 3 snakes this week, which
right.
is I call this hot week. She's calling it snake week. So,
I sure am.
But yeah, so don't forget, we got Albin with Albin Co. Remodeling Homes, Jack Keller with Legacy Painting, Tommy Hines, the perfect home remedy guy, the money guy for us. Michael Davenport with CVP. It's easy for me to say. Custom vinyl products, all your windows and doors, and our buddy Justin, who was supposed to be here tonight. I'm gonna throw him under the bus, but
I know, right?
Mama said we're going to North Carolina, and he did.
Quick?
He did the right thing, and he jumped in the car. So anyway, Justin with Pyramid Roofing. So we will see him next week. So I think him and Jack and me and I think Davenport are coming next week. So anyway, call in. We got any questions you guys got about your house. I am going to go to a couple text things we got. On geothermal, we had a text call in asking questions about open loop and closed loop geothermals. What geothermal systems are actually air conditioning systems that work by being cooled by water instead of air to air, which is what 95% of all air conditioners in this area are all air to air. Everybody has an outdoor unit out back, and typical air conditioning is air to air. Geothermal is extremely expensive, but really efficient to operate. I had a customer of mine. He's a retired captain in Chesapeake, actually, and he had propane, spending God knows how much, $7,000-8,000 a year in propane.
I have one of those units.
3.5-4 ton air conditioner, and so he's spending $7-8 grand a year in utility bills. And So we started talking. He had moisture under the house. We ended up fully encapsulating it, and then insulating his upstairs, spray foaming his upstairs. So we took it from a 5-ton to a 4-ton house, air conditioning, and then we put 5 thermostats in his house. He had one upstairs, downstairs, room over the garage, sunroom, and master bedroom suite. So he has one system for all those 5 areas, and he has a thermostat in every section of the house because you can't beat God. That sunroom's always going to be hotter than everything else. But do you really want it 70 degrees at 1 o'clock in the afternoon when you're not going out there that day? So you could program it or set it. Now everything's done by your phone, right? You can set thermostats by your phone. So we ended up being able to help him drop his bills literally to $130 electric bill, and he was heating and cooling his entire house. I mean, this house was, 3,500 square foot. It was a big old house. $130. Now, he spent a ton getting in the geothermal, but he was telling me within 8 years, it paid for itself.
Went through special
plus he had
training for that too,
30%
right?
tax credit.
Yeah,
absolutely. You got to know geothermal to mess with geothermal. You don't want somebody just slapping in a geothermal system and running.
And then you
want
know
somebody
all about it. You do the training.
It is. We do.
That's what makes Chuck
do
great.
It all. Well,
he makes
thank
sure
you.
he's properly trained before he puts that stuff out there.
It's it's funny. I was on my way in here and I heard a thing by Saban that someone was asking, why are you so mean? And Saban is an Alabama, coach. He just retired. So why are you so mean, so tough on your guys? And he goes, I'm not tough. He said, I have a standard.
Right.
And people who are overachievers don't like hanging out with achievers. They want to be with the guys who are overachievers like himself in their trade, in their industry. And it's, you got to, I don't know, you have a standard,
right?
And then people will rise to the standard or they won't work for you very long.
That's right.
So that's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, you want to talk about Snake Week?
Yeah, Snake Week. So what have we seen this week? So my daughter-in-law is in studio here with me tonight, and she does my pest control services for me. And she has not, in I don't know how many years at this point. I don't know.
Skylar, my daughter's Facebook living me.
Oh,
so she's
okay,
texting.
great.
Yeah, so.
That's great. But I don't know how many years now she's been doing pest control for me, but she went to do a service this week, and she was greeted with a snake, and she promptly turned around and said, I'll be back with my mother-in-law.
I went right in the crawl space.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I went right into the crawl space, and that's
now,
where she
have you
needed
ever
to go
run
next.
in? Now, I'm trying to talk my daughter into coming back from saving turtles in Florida, right? So she told me, Dad, you need to open up a division that has turtles in it so I can come to work for you.
Oh, there you go.
So tell her about all the turtles you run into in crawl spaces.
Just turtles in crawl spaces. Actually, Skylar, I went into one crawl space one time and I saved 4 baby frogs. Now, why are there baby frogs in a crawl space? I have no clue. But this was in Smithfield, right on the water, and he had 4 baby frogs. So we saved those.
That's funny.
We did save those.
I told
Turtles
her
too.
I had to figure out a way that I could start selling air conditioners for turtle shells, so I could sell air conditioning to turtles,
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm in. I'm coming in for that. I'm coming in
I've
for
got
that.
a spot for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we have
can
a
run that
wildlife. It's like a large shed that I need to do supplemental cooling on because we rehab turtles.
Do you really? Do you rehab turtles? All right, Skylar.
And other animals.
Damon's got a place for you to come work. He probably doesn't pay, but at least you get to hang out with turtles.
Yeah, there's
right?
no pay, but there's a lot of injured turtles. Yeah.
Do you really? Do you have a rehab for them?
And my wife does wildlife rehab, so we do a lot of reptiles.
Excellent.
That is awesome, man.
A lot of turtles, a lot of other stuff,
Right,
a lot of mammals too.
If some cute blonde walks up to the house and looking to take care of your turtles, it might be my daughter. So.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you come up here, Skylar, I got a grandson that's looking for a turtle, so he might be interested in helping you. He's 14. He's happy to learn.
So what'd you find at your house this week?
So this week, it's been so hot and so dry, and I'm out there after the flowers and trying to get a little water on my grass, and it's dark. And I live in Smithfield, and I'm watering everything, and I water something, and it rolls over, and I'm not sure what it is because it's dark. And I get down there and look real good. Well, it's a copperhead. So I'm like, where's my shovel? Well, my shovel.
Did you wrestle him?
No, I didn't have time for that. I was looking for my shovel. So I went to the backyard and I found my shovel and I came back around. Well, then it's so dark. I have to get my cell phone out, Chuck, and put the light on there to find it. Man, that thing was all curled up, ready to strike at me.
Who won?
Copperhead 0, Cindy 1. That's who won.
So a friend of mine was telling me, he said, man, there's only 2 types of snakes in the world. I said, what are you talking about? There's like thousands of breeds, of snake or whatever. And he goes, nope. I said, I've only seen a poisonous one and a dead one. And he said, in fact, I've never run into a poison one.
Yeah, venomous.
They were all dead.
Yes.
I was like, that is wrong. That is wrong. He's like, I'm not checking for what do you say, a pointy head or whatever.
Right.
I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a shovel,
Well,
then you got Damien saving all the black snakes and king snakes.
And Damien's actually correct on that because
they'll kill the bad ones.
They kill the venomous snakes, so they actually do that. But they also, if you have snakes around your property, you've got a problem with rodents, which is another thing we're seeing inside houses this summer that I've never seen.
Rodents?
Yes. And why are they coming in?
Because it's hot as hell.
Exactly. You need to help them with that, Chuck. They need air conditioning.
Worley's Home Services. We do heating and air conditioning.
Yep, PD's.
Quickly, same day service, next day service, change outs next day.
Yeah, so we can keep the rodents outside. We need Chuck over there to make sure.
That's right. So,
things are cooler.
So it looks like we've got one more call, and we'll say our number again, 955-9415. You can call us or text us or 757-HouseWhisperer.com. You can reach out. And remember, all of our shows are on YouTube, so you can see our past shows. So it looks like we're going to try and squeeze one last caller in, Mr. Phillip in Chesapeake.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. On a vinyl-sided house, an 80s build, for the aluminum trim on the fascia, the aluminum wrap around the windows, the peeling of the white paint on the aluminum, just curious about the cause and or solution. Do I have to have that rewrapped, and is there something else that's causing that separation in the paint peeling?
Is it happening on one side of your house more than the other?
Ooh.
Or all over?
Yeah. Probably. Well, but it's 2 sides. I mean, but I don't know what direction it's facing. I'm sitting here thinking on that property. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, when was it wrapped? Did you say the 80s?
Yeah, it's an 80s build, so it's a vinyl sided, but all the trim is aluminum, or the wrap on the fascia and the area around the windows. But I'm just seeing some peeling, separation, and big chunks of the baked on white paint.
Yeah, I'm thinking if the 80s, I mean, you kind of got your money's worth out of those things, you probably need to start, start leaning toward. I mean, it's not like you're going to scrape that off and paint it. You're not going to. I mean, it's never going to stick, right? I mean, I want to thank you for calling in because I know you're not the only person with this problem. So we're helping, hundreds, maybe thousands of people with the same question because we do hear that question a lot. We hear it a couple times a year. So, yeah, it's pretty common for that to happen. I have seen newer stuff do it. When it was, on the I think it was the east side of the building, it just wrecked one side of the building, and it was a newer home. It was less than 5 years old, and it was just happening on this one side, and they ended up having to just replace it. So it was kind of unfortunate, but it was just I mean, you can't beat God. Right?
No, you can't. That's the weather.
It's like air conditioning. I'm not beating God. I'm just overcoming science, right? I'm trying to keep the heat out and
work
more
with
air
God,
conditioning.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to work with him.
The weather and those elements will take care of that kind of stuff for you.
It really
can't
is.
last forever.
It really is. So, but yeah, thank you for the call. We can have somebody reach back out to you and kind of give you some options on that. So, but yeah, thanks for calling in. And any other issues on the house you wanted to ask about? Oh, he's okay. So, where were we? All right, 2 minutes. All right, so we have no more time for callers because y'all waited to the last minute. So if you're calling in, you can't get any more answers.
You have to call back next week.
Are you going to give anybody that gift card? Because how about the guy that had the most?
How about everybody that called in tonight will get that free gift card from me?
Okay.
And as well as I'll give you all a call and offer you a free inspection of your home.
Well, that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work. That's a win-win.
That's a
Get to
win-win.
meet you.
Absolutely.
meet you,
That's a
right?
once in a lifetime experience.
I want to crack so many jokes right now. I really do.
should. Do it.
So it would be you or Tori, right? Or Tim?
Both.
Okay, or
Yeah.
both.
Oh.
All right. So if you have any snakes, they're snake wrestlers.
What up?
So they're in.
She's
Tori.
Tori's opposite direction. That would be me.
Tori's not a snake wrestler.
Oh man.
I will wrestle it.
All right.
I'll
Yeah.
wrestle everything.
Actually, I come with shovel in tow.
Yeah, exactly. But we want to thank you, all the hosts. Want to thank you guys for listening into our show. We really hope you're enjoying the show. Definitely thank you for the Facebook Live comments. We do appreciate it. Definitely shoot us a text at 955-9415. And we could set up appointments or answer any questions that you might have on the house. And sometimes we get texts during the week, and I answer the questions the next week, so we can help more people than just one person. So
Everybody
again,
enjoy their 4th of July. Remember what it's about.
Absolutely. Independence Day.
Right.
Thank you guys for listening in.
The